What is up guys, Andy Forrestine Runner here, and today we're doing a race gear test. Yes, it's 10 weeks until the mountain marathon. Today we're testing out the backpack, the nutrition and the shoes. So welcome back to another training vlog style video, and today we're being very specific. We're covering the gear, the nutrition and the shoes that we're going to be racing in. I'm actually running uphill now. This is a really stupid time to record, but let me tell you something. As a road runner, this right here, this bag, wow, this is going to take some getting used to. I want to talk about all three things individually. Particularly, we'll start with the gear, do nutrition, do the shoes over the long run. Let you know my thinking, my thought process, testing it out, pros and cons, all of that sort of stuff. If I would change anything that we're trying out now to race day, we'll have to see. So we'll start with the gear. Okay, so let's start with the gear. The two things with the gear for me are the backpack and the softflask. So I ummed and ahed about these things. I was going to roll with a handheld. I run with water bottles if needs be, just for keeping everything above board. And straight and honest, I don't run with water. I never ever have water on my long runs, ever, unless it's super hot. And I take a very small flask with me, and I might have 2 or 3 sips along the whole way. That's it. I'm really bad at drinking, and the reason is that I get really bad stitches when I take on board fluid. Now I know long term that's not an ideal strategy. I know long term that I need to address that, but I've avoided addressing that for such a long period of time that when we come on to talking about nutrition and what's in the soft flask, you'll understand why I'm testing it out 10 weeks ahead of the marathon. So handheld or soft flask, we're going to see today. The backpack is kind of a necessity. I got to carry some bits, some mandatory items, so I don't really have a choice. I could get a big old belt, but I think that's going to weigh me down, press on my gut, give me gut issues. I find that if I load up my belt now, my small belt's too much, I get quite bad gut issues. So the backpack is something we just have to accept, albeit it's very annoying. It's rubbing here and it's bouncing everywhere, and that's because of this thing. I tested it out without the soft flask in it and it was fine. So with the soft flask, it's now bouncing. I've pulled these straps nice and tight, almost as tight as they'll go. It's still bouncing. Let me know in the comments below if that's standard, if I've just got to get used to it, or if I should be able to get a better dialed in fit. So as I said, backpack, can't do anything about really. The soft flask, we're going to see how that goes today. I'm not even lying when I say this is like running with a weighted vest on. And for a road runner, jumping into something like this, I'm running 8 to 8 30-minute miles, and I'm not used to this. And I'm not saying that in any other way, being big-headed, being anything, and the fact that I'm not used to it, and the effort I'm putting in to run these miles is just as much as if I was on the road running 7 to 7 30-minute miles. So this is a massive shock to me, hence why we're practicing early. So I'm going to give the soft flask a go for a couple of weeks, see how that goes. We'll test it out next week as well. Then we're going to have excuse me, a tapered long run for the Severn Bridge 10k, which will be the following weekend. Then we've got 5 more long runs to test it out on. So if I see how it goes this week and next week, and if all is well and I don't get too annoyed with it, then we'll just roll with it. If not, I'll look at one of those Nathan handhelds or something like that that Sage Canada uses, where you can carry a bottle with a zip pocket in, carry a couple of gels, and then this in the back can just have the mandatory gear, phone, and that's that. So that's the gear. Let's move on to nutrition. Okay, so let's move on to nutrition. So you guys know, if you've followed the channel for a while, I use Unived gels. They're the only gels that I find work with my stomach. They're the only ones that don't give me a stitch. I've tried Morton, they're okay, they're good, they don't affect my stomach, but the sweetener, the caffeine kick in them, whatever it is, it makes me feel very sick after a couple. Unived is the only gel I've had where I can have a fair few and not feel sick, which is great. So we'll be using Unived gels on the mountain marathon. But what about hydration? As I've alluded to, I don't sit well with drinking, but as you can see, we have fluid in the soft flask. So in here at the moment, I've got Unived's drink mix, electrolytes, calories, all of that sort of stuff. I have used Tailwind in the past. I got on with that quite well, to be fair, but I haven't used Tailwind in a long time, so nothing wrong with it. But again, like the Morton gels, Tailwind got very, very sickly the more you had it. So already I've had some of this today. I'm just sipping it. I've had 2 sets of sips, if that makes sense, having them every 3 miles, and so far so good. No stomach issues, which is amazing. And I'm just about to take a gel, so we'll touch base later towards the end and let you know how the combination has worked. But overall, a very mild flavour, which is good. Not a big kick of sweetness, which is good, because I don't want that. Too much sweetness from the gels and the drink combined, it will just make my stomach turn. So it's very subtle, it's gone down very easily. We'll see how we get on. So I found this hill that cuts from the bottom of Mars Pike all the way up to the top of this hill, and it is brutal. This is the sort of stuff I need to be doing, but man, I am toast. I'm not used to this sort of stuff. It's so hard. Okay, so after that hill, we found the most incredible single track, as you've just seen, and all my tiredness and everything just went away. I feel amazing now. That was literally like a rush of pleasure running through there. That was just mind-blowing. I love exploring. The Forest of Dean has just got tracks beyond tracks beyond tracks. I could be out here for hours and not even cover 100th of what we have to offer. But anyway, on to shoes. The Torrent 2s, as you've seen, if you missed the first impression video, you can go back and check that out. We did a 10 miler in that, some good elevation, nothing fancy. Today's a bit more of a real test, doing the long run test, kind of doing some terrain testing as well, but I'll do a separate run for that. And the goal for the Torrents was to utilise the lace lock today. So I didn't utilise it in the first video. I also said in the first video, the first impressions, I didn't need to, and I don't. But what I have to remember is I'm going to be up on the Brecon Mountains, scrambling up paths that have loose rocks, loose gravel, loose terrain. I don't want my ankles to be unstable in any way, shape or form. So I wanted to test how they felt with the lace lock, if they felt more secure. If it really didn't make that much of a difference. It feels more secure, it feels better. I'm going to stick with it, I'm going to roll with it. They feel fantastic. I've been going for an hour and a half now, and they are a dream, absolute dream to run in. 100% these are going to be my race shoe, I can tell already. No aches, no pains, no nothing. They are my shoe down to a T. Okay, so let's wrap this here. Nutrition update. We've been going for 2 hours 5 minutes. One last 400 foot hill to climb, which I'm starting now. Then home. 1.5 gels. Would you believe it? Over half of a bottle drunk. I never drink, and it has gone down a treat. The only thing I'd say is I got a bit gassy. Don't laugh, you know what I mean. I don't know if that's just the heat, tiredness, a combination of two different nutritions that are combining for the first time, who knows. Either way though, feeling really good. Now going up this hill, not feeling so good, but we'll get to the end. It's going to be 17-18 miles. I'll put the full stats on the screen. Thank you so much for following along. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like, comment below, let me know your backpack of choice, hydration of choice, gels of choice, all that stuff. Share with your friends, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to finish this hill and collapse. See you on the next one.